Do you know how, when a criminal gets caught by the police, they lie and twist their stories in various ways just to escape? But what if, in a surprising twist, the police themselves start lying to catch the criminal? This is the story of a case that left everyone shocked. So much was brewing behind the scenes, yet even the family members had no clue what was going on. Hello friends, how are you all doing? Today we are going to talk about the Vaishali Balsar case. The story begins in the Valsad district of Gujarat, where a talented couple lived, Vaishali and Haresh Balsar. Vaishali was a well-known Gabba singer in Gujarat who also performed internationally. Her husband, Haresh, was a guitarist. Both were doing quite well in their careers. Vaishali also used to give singing classes. Everything was going smoothly in their lives. Now comes the day, Saturday, the 27th of August, 2022. That evening, Vaishali told her husband that she was going out to meet someone for some work and would be back soon. Haresh didn't question much since a job involved regular meetings and performances. At around 6:45 p.m., Vaishali left in her Maruti Baleno car. As time passed, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, she still hadn't returned home. Haresh tried calling her, but her phone was switched off. This made him even more anxious. He started calling their relatives and acquaintances. Then he remembered that Vaishali had mentioned going near the Ayyappa temple. Without wasting time, Haresh took his car and went out looking for her. But she was nowhere to be found, and her phone was still unreachable. He thought maybe she had gone far. Her phone battery had died, and she might return late at night. With such thoughts, he tried to reassure himself. The 27th of August passed, and the next day, the 28th of August began. Still, Vaishali hadn't returned home. Early in the morning, Haresh went to the Padi police station and filed a missing person report. He shared every detail, what she had said before leaving, where she was headed, and how she hadn't returned since. Meanwhile, another twist was unfolding in this timeline. It was the evening of the 28th of August. Just before sunset, a man was walking near the river called Pai in the Versad area. This river flows through the Padi Taluka of Valsad. As the man left the main highway and moved onto a date path, he noticed an abandoned car parked near the riverbank. Curious, he walked up to the car and peeked inside, and what he saw shook him to the core. He immediately called the police. This area also came under the jurisdiction of the Padi police station, so a team quickly arrived at the scene. When the police looked into the car, nothing was visible from the front seat window. But when they looked through the back seat window, they noticed a human body lying near the footrest area. The woman was unconscious. At first, the police knocked on the car door and called out, but there was no response. The car door was locked and wouldn't open. A car mechanic was immediately called. Once the door was opened, they found a woman lying unconscious in the footwell area of the back seat. Within seconds, the police realized she was no longer alive. Her face was intact and recognizable. There were marks on her neck, indicating that she may have been strangled. This was now being treated as a murder case. But who was this woman? The car's license plate could help identify the owner. That's when the police remembered that earlier that morning, a man named Haresh Balsar had come in to file a missing person report for his wife. The police contacted Haresh and informed him that a woman's body had been found inside a Baleno car near a river in a hilly area, and they needed him to come identify it. Haresh rushed to the scene. Upon seeing the body, he broke down in tears. He immediately identified her as his wife, Vaishali. The forensic team was called, and the body was sent to Surat for post-mortem. Inside the car, they found Vaishali's slipper under the driver's seat, but nothing else. No car keys, no mobile phone, no purse, and nothing else related to Vaishali. This initially suggested that the motive might have been robbery and that the attackers had taken her belongings after killing her. But then a question arose. Why was the car still there? If the robbers really wanted to steal, they could have taken the car too, after disposing of the body. Why didn't they? This made the robbery theory questionable. Could it be that Vaishali had personal enmity with someone? But naturally, the first suspicion fell on her husband, Harish. The next day, August 29th, the police informed the media that singer Vaishali Balsaya had been murdered. The news shocked everyone. On the same day, her post-mortem was conducted at a hospital in Surat. It confirmed that she had been strangled to death. Apart from that, there were no injuries or even scratches on her body. Why didn't Vaishali fight back to save herself? How could that be? One possibility was considered, that she might have been rendered unconscious first, and then strangled to death. Traces of chloroform were found near Vaishali's face during the post-mortem, indicating that there may have been an attempt to render her unconscious beforehand. This suggests that multiple people might have been involved. It appeared to be a completely pre-planned murder, implying Vaishali might have had a serious enmity with someone. By afternoon, the entire forensic investigation process was completed, and the body was handed over to her family. Later, her last rites were performed. Everyone at home was deeply saddened. Vaishali's maternal family lives in Canada. A complaint was filed from their side as well, demanding that the killers be caught. The police called Vaishali's husband, Harish, to the station for questioning. Before leaving home, Vaishali had only told Harish that she was going to meet someone near the Ayyappa temple. Apart from this, she didn't share any other details, who she was meeting or for what reason. Harish and Vaishali got married in 2011. They had a daughter together. However, Harish also had a daughter from his first marriage. After the divorce, he married again, and the daughter from his first marriage lived with him as well. There's a possibility that Vaishali may have treated his stepdaughter poorly, which could have prompted Harish to get her out of the way. However, police spoke with neighbors and some close acquaintances, and according to them, Harish and Vaishali had a very good relationship. They were deeply in love and were never heard fighting. Vaishali loved both her daughters, biological and stepdaughter, equally. Vaishali's in-laws also lived with them and confirmed the same. Suspicion arose because Harish filed the missing person report on the morning of August 28th, but after that, he never returned to the police station to follow up. Usually, when someone's family member goes missing, they keep visiting and pressuring the police. But Harish didn't do this. When asked about it, Harish said that after filing the complaint, he was also trying to search for Vaishali on his own, asking people and going to different places. Overall, based on Harish's statement, it didn't seem like he was involved in Vaishali's disappearance. All of this happened within a couple of days after her body was found. The police eventually gave Harish a clean chit. Following this, the commander call detail record report of Vaishali was obtained. Additionally, CCTV footage from all cameras installed between her home and the place where her body was found was collected. Special focus was given to the time when Vaishali left her home and when her body was discovered. Given that the case was high profile, the police formed 8 different teams. These teams were assigned various tasks: analyzing CCTV footage, conducting technical surveillance, checking location history, extracting call details, and interrogating people. The police spoke with neighbors, relatives, and everyone close to Vaishali, but no angle of enmity or conflict came to light. However, during the investigation of Vaishali's call records, it was found that just before her phone was switched off, she received 2 calls, both from the same person, Babita Kaushik. This woman had called Vaishali once a few minutes before she left home, and again just before her phone went off. When the police questioned Harish about Babita Kaushik, he said that she was a friend of Vaishali's, and that Vaishali might have gone to meet her. That could explain why something may have happened to her after that meeting. More than 100 CCTV cameras were examined. In one of them, Babita, Vaishali's friend, was seen walking on the road. This camera was located about a kilometer away from the spot where Vaishali's body was found. The question that now troubled the police was, why does Babita appear both in the call records and in the CCTV footage during the critical time frame? Within a week, the police tracked Babita's whereabouts and went to her house. But upon seeing her, they were faced with a new dilemma: how to interrogate her. Babita was heavily pregnant, carrying a child of nearly 8 to 9 months in her womb. Police called a team of doctors and female officers before questioning Babita to avoid stressing her out, as she was pregnant. They informed her that her friend Vaishali had been murdered and showed her call records and CCTV footage linking her to the case. Babita admitted she met Vaishali that evening but insisted their call was normal. With no strong leads, police tried a trick. They showed Babita a random suspect's photo and lied that he was involved. Babita confidently identified him as someone with Vaishali, unintentionally revealing that she had seen the actual killer. The man in the photo wasn't connected to the case. The police just used it to make Babita reveal the truth. The police told Babita that this person is not the killer. They had only shown her a random picture, and she falsely claimed to recognize him. Now she had no choice but to tell the truth. Hearing and seeing all this, Babita panicked and confessed that she had orchestrated Vaishali's murder. Now, the question arises, why would a pregnant woman, who was just days away from giving birth, get her closest friend killed? Babita began telling the whole story from the beginning. About a year ago, Babita and Vaishali became friends during a function. Their friendship grew so strong that whenever Babita needed money, Vaishali would help her without hesitation. Babita started borrowing money from Vaishali for various needs, and Vaishali kept giving her money without asking any questions. Within a year, Vaishali had lent Babita a total of 5 Indian rupees lakhs, 500,000 rupees, over multiple occasions. Despite the debt, their friendship remained unchanged. But since Babita had taken money, she was also expected to repay it. However, her financial condition was not good enough to return such a large amount. Still, she had promised to pay it back in small installments. Vaishali agreed. Babita would fix a date and say she'd return a certain amount on that day. But the date would pass, and she would still be unable to gather the money. The pressure to repay the debt started mounting on Babita. Eventually, she thought of getting Vaishali out of the way altogether. If Vaishali was gone, she wouldn't have to return the 5 Indian rupees lakhs. This is how Babita, who had been close friends with Vaishali for years through Facebook, planned her murder. Vaishali trusted her friend Babita deeply. On August 27th, Babita called Vaishali and said she had collected 8 Indian rupees lakhs and asked her to come collect the money. Vaishali left in her car, unaware it was a trap. Meanwhile, Babita, who was 8 to 9 months pregnant, had already reached a deserted diamond factory after parking her scooty a kilometer away and taking an auto. At the factory, 3 hired killers, including Sukhwinder, were waiting. Vaishali arrived, and Babita got into her car. While Vaishali was counting the money, the killers appeared. Babita told her they were cousins she brought for safety. Suddenly, one of them chloroformed Vaishali and knocked her unconscious. They then strangled her, took the money, which was actually their payment, and hid her body in the car. Babita calmly returned home. The killers later abandoned the car in a deserted area. When the case came to light, everyone was shocked. Vaishali had never told even her husband about the money she gave Babita. By September 3rd, police arrested Babita. Later, 2 of the 3 killers were also caught. Sukhwinder revealed that Babita had lied, saying the victim was just someone who troubled her, not her friend. The 3rd killer is still on the run, and legal action is ongoing against all involved. And that brings the story to an end. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next update. Thanks for watching.